Hello, and welcome to episode 193 of the Press Box Hat Trick. I'm your host, Peter Vrionis, and today I'm joined by Elias Grigoriadis and Ali Tommy to discuss the Champions League Final. Thanks for listening. Hello, everyone. I'm back here at the Press Box Hat Trick. It's your host, Peter Vrionis. I'm here with my football/soccer experts today, in Elias Grigoriadis and Ali Tommy. Thank you for joining us, guys. I'm really happy to have you here.
Really happy to be back. First podcast in the Peter Vrionis era. So let's do it.
First time coming on as well. First time. First of many, hopefully.
The last.
First of many.
Yeah. So today was a big day in the footballing world. There was the Champions League final between Chelsea and Man City. It was a great game. I think it lived up to the hype. Elias, what did you think of today's game?
I had three main takeaways from today. One, we talked about, aside from Kevin De Bruyne, N'Golo Kanté is the best midfielder in the world. You can't argue against it. And Joshua Kimmich is great. Bruno Fernandes is great, but he's at another level. Another one is this really does hurt Frank Lampard and his reputation, given that, there was no squad changes and Tuchel came in and almost instantly had a significant impact. This is the guy that really didn't have that successful run at PSG. I know he made the Champions League final and everything, but let's face it, it was an easier route to the final, and he was kind of carried by Mbappe and Neymar. So they were really behind the eight ball, and the fact that he got in and he tapped into this demon of a team is really, it's going to be something really fun to watch because of how young that team is, except for one or two players. Everyone else is under 30. So that's going to be fun. And my third takeaway is that, Pep Guardiola is going to be always considered like a Barcelona manager that couldn't really cut it anywhere else. Because once again, this is another Champions League, failure in their respect. They walk through everybody basically. And then this is one of the second or only third final he's ever lost. And it's the first time he hasn't lost to Jose Mourinho. Right. But he hasn't won the Champions League. He's been with the three best teams. He's been with the best team in the league since the start of his career. But he hasn't won anything in Bayern, and he hasn't won anything outside of England with City. So this is going to be a stain on his reputation. And if he doesn't win, with City, then, this is going to be one of those he was a great manager, but, it's only because he went to go join the best teams.
Right. Yeah. So, Ali, what did you take away from today's game?
Yeah, main talking points of the game. There's a few, but the way Chelsea played, I thought, obviously at the start, the way City were coming at them, I thought, it's going to be tough for Chelsea to keep a clean sheet. But Chelsea, they had chances at the start. Timo Werner, first one, I don't know how he missed that. He pulled it, hit off his other foot and came back across. It looked like a tap-in to me. It looked like a tap-in. Second chance as well. It was a great move. He went by one, and then you think, okay, put a bit of power into it. It's too soft to the keeper. And I thought, this could come back to bite Chelsea. But like expected with that lineup that City pulled out, non-existent midfield pretty much. To play Gundogan and De Bruyne together in a two without a Fernandinho or Rodri beside them, I didn't understand it. When it first came out, I was like, no way has Pep done it again, because the difference between this Champions League campaign and every other campaign is that he always overthought it. Always, the day of the game, he would make something that he doesn't do before. A change that makes you question, for why? Why? Bro, you have a good team. Keep with it. And this is the first campaign where he's been consistent with his lineups. And I thought, today it's going to be the same. So he's going to put either Rodri or Fernandinho, KDB, Gundogan, and then left Foden, right Mahrez, and up top Bernardo, false nine. And I see Sterling. Then I see no Gundogan or Rodri. I'm like, no way. Has Pep done it again? And he done it again. And literally that goal came from Malaka DM, because had Fernandinho or Rodri been there, they would close that passing lane. That pass isn't getting through. They would be filling in that void. So, yeah, bro. Cut City right open. Chelsea took advantage of it. Chelsea got the goal. And yeah, bro. City couldn't come back into the game.
On that goal, the defense just parted like the Red Sea. It was wide open.
Just open right up.
Mason Mount, he's a baller.
Yeah.
What a pass. What a ball that he played.
The weight on that pass, literally put it inch perfect. Right in front of Havertz, literally perfect.
Let me tell you something. I'm sure that if he played Timo Werner through, he would have found a way to not score. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, no. Make no mistake, though. It wasn't that easy for Havertz because, Ederson made himself big, and obviously he came outside of his box, had to have his arms low, can't use his arms. So, Havertz fluffed it, but good reactions.
Right.
Stays on his feet, and then, slots it in.
From what I saw all game, it was just a beautifully executed game plan by Chelsea. I mean, their defense was top-notch the entire game. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't watch much football, but I got to tune into the Champions League Final, and it was impeccable defense. Like, Kanté had everybody in his back pocket. Not just, like, he was all over the place, just like he is all the time.
As usual, bro, yeah.
As usual. And we got to agree that he is the best midfielder in the world. Can we agree on that?
I think Kevin has something to say about that. But
Champions League Final, let her fly, man, let her fly. Bro, we can't debate that right now. Later on. Right now, he's just won the Champions League. Man of the match in both semi-finals. Man of the match in the final. We can let that fly, bro. Peter, you want to think that? We can all think it. No worries.
I'm sticking with it. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kevin De Bruyne has a decent shout to that, but they really are alone at the top there. There's not much contention from the outside, at least for now. People have great seasons. Kimmich had a great season. De Jong had a great season where they kind of make that claim as like a top midfielder, and then they kind of settle into the role as elite, but really not at that level. And I think that's just what's going to happen again with like people like Bruno Fernandes and Leon Goretzka, who had another great year. People like that who will have standout seasons, but to do it every year for the last 5 or 6 years to be consistently at that level, nobody else is doing that in the midfield, right? We spoke about this before, but N'Golo Kanté is the best box-to-box midfielder I've ever seen. He's better. I think he's better than Yaya Toure. I think he's better than people like Michael Essien. I think he's clear of them all. He's better than Frank Lampard, in my opinion. Right?
You mean in Premier League terms, though? Yeah.
What do you think about that, Ali? I saw you raise your eyebrow.
No. If he wants to say the best box-to-box in Premier League, I mean, obviously there's other nominees, and I feel like he hasn't really done it for as long as they've done it. So it is hard to say it in that sense. But in terms of the Premier League, yeah, he's right up there. But overall, like other leagues, accounting the Spanish players, the Italians, I'm not too sure about that. But in terms of Premier League, no, he's a Premier League all-time great. I think one more Premier League title, and I think he's right up there.
I mean, I wouldn't put him up there as in the all-time great midfielders yet. I'm talking about purely like box capacity. Right? I wouldn't put him above like Pirlo or Xavi, right? Because those players aren't box midfielders. But if you're putting him in a box with like, this is gonna upset some people, but people like Steven Gerrard, people like Yaya Toure, people in that class.
Nah. Okay.
I don't think he's clear of them yet, but right now, given the fact that he's, his time at the top flight has been so short, and the fact that he's done so much and he's been so impactful to the point where the second he joins a team,
they win.
It's the same impact as if a Van Dijk comes in, or if a Messi or an Mbappe or a Ronaldo. And you don't normally see that from a box-to-box midfielder. They're traditionally role players, right? People, like I said, Toure, Gerrard, people like Michael Essien, right? In the last 15, 20 years have done that. But the list for box-to-box midfielders that are superstars or that are, the best player on their team outright is, you could fit it on one hand. So I put him in that conversation. And honestly, the fact that he still has easily 4 or 5, even 6 years, given his fitness, that by the end of it, he's going to be clear of them all. Like there's no, I think he's going to run away with that position, because he's not like people call him like the next Makelele, but like he's does so much more than Claude Makelele to the point where like he has his own position.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You can't like, because people thought he was
Can't define in N'Golo Kanté's role on a field. It's everything, and the fact that he has single-handedly made, like, Paul Pogba is an incredibly talented player, but he made Paul Pogba look like the best version of himself, right? And he struggled at United. Admittedly, he has good runs of form, but the fact that N'Golo Kanté replaces basically 2 players, it lets other people shine in ways that, you don't get to appreciate. Like Jorginho and Kovacic look like world-class midfielders because they don't have to worry about the defensive end of the ball. And then he'll make an 80-yard run down the field and make like like his goal against his goal against Atletico, right? Where he ran 80 yards down the field, didn't touch the ball purely as a decoy.
Yeah. And then he dragged them out of position. Yeah, that's a good point. And obviously, after today's Champions League, I think he's completed football. You talk about obviously winning Premier League with Leicester, then winning with Chelsea. He won the FA Cup the next year with Chelsea, and he won the World Cup that summer. And now he has the Champions League. So in terms of domestic English trophies, he's won them all. Continentally, he's won the Europa League as well. So he's won the Europa Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup. He hasn't won the League Cup yet, but I'm pretty sure it's not too important. But he'll end up winning it. He'll end up, and then this summer if he wins the Euros, bro, that's it. Like he's completed the game.
He's done it. He's completed it faster than anyone outside of like Spanish Barcelona players have ever. Right? Because there's like 4 or 5 Barcelona players that are Spanish that have like Euro, World Cup, and then Aside from that, I don't think anyone's ever gotten this many trophies on such a wide array in like 5 years. That's insane.
Yeah, definitely.
Unheard of.
Well, also, guys, sorry to cut you off, but I want to move on to something else. Speaking of Pep Guardiola, a lot of people have him as the best manager of all time. A lot of people have him in the top 3. Where do you think this loss puts him now in those rankings?
Well, the thing is, if you want me to take it first, Elias, is that cool with you? Yeah. Yeah, the thing is with Pep, though, I mean, like I was even saying it to my dad when I was watching the game. I was like, even if they do lose it today, I don't think it matters, bro. They'll just win it next year. Like, eventually he's just going to win it with City. Like, that eventually, because of how much they spend and that, they're going to win it. Like,
that oil
it's a matter of, bro, it's a matter of when rather than, like, and it hurts me as a United fan to say this, but, like, bro, like, every single Champions League, we go into it as them being the favourites every time. Like, since Pep's second season pretty much there.
Right.
And I feel like, they got to the final for the first time this year, and I wouldn't put it past them this summer. They'll sign a striker, and they'll go back at it next year, and they'll win it. And if he wins the Champions League with City, I mean, obviously there's a bit of an asterisk on it because he's spent more than everyone else, but he is right up there with the best. But just don't compare him to the greats just yet. Don't compare him to the Fergies. Keep him out of your mouth.
Hey, I'm a casual. I'm just going off what I read on the internet.
Not you. I'm seeing a lot of City fans gas up Pep too much, bro. Put him as the all-time great, bro. Listen, till he wins it the way Fergie won it, I don't want to hear it. But anyways.
He is amazing tactically, though. Like his defense.
Yeah, no.
Press.
In terms of as a pure coach, like, because obviously Fergie was known as a man manager and that, like, he was, like, obviously Pep changed the game with his tactics. And in terms of tactics and styles of play, bro, this guy, I think he's right up there. But obviously, as a coach, as a manager, it's more than that. It's everything. And he doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, I think you explained it perfectly. That there's player motivators and there's tacticians, right? And Pep is arguably the greatest tactician of all time. He's the reason half the world plays 4-3-3 now. There's a couple teams play 3 at the back, but 4-3-3 is now the default. It's no, he single-handedly killed the 4-4-2, right? So I mean, you could argue like where he got his influences from, but the fact that he did it for 4 years at Barcelona that well is the reason that every team now has a 4-3-3 in mind when they play.
So let's all agree that it was a great game, a great performance by Chelsea. We saw a couple of standout performances, and obviously N'Golo Kanté did his thing. Chelsea executed their game plan perfectly, and this is what we all could have hoped for as Man City haters as well. So, yeah,
It was much better than the last All English final, so I'm very grateful for that.
Right. So thanks so much for joining us, guys, Elias and Ali.
It was a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Let's do this again soon. Thanks, guys.